All right, we'll now move straight to the world of cricket, where, of course, African women have gathered to compete in the T20 qualifiers. And for the Uganda Victoria Pearls, it was an interesting one, as, of course, they went all the way towards clinching the semi-final spot after defeating Namibia by 4 wickets. Now, the crucial victory, their second in the tournament, propelled Uganda to the top of Group B. Opting to bowl first after winning the toss, Uganda faced a formidable challenge as Namibia's openers Sune Whitman and Yashe Khan built a solid opening stand of 35. However, Evely and Yipo's breakthrough set the stage for Uganda to take control of the game. In the parallel match of the group, Nigeria secured a narrow victory against Rwanda by 4 runs on the DLS method. Rain interrupted play in the second innings with Nigeria 49/3 in pursuit of Rwanda's target of 89 runs. The win sets the stage for an intense clash between Uganda and Nigeria in the final group match on Thursday. Now, joining me to talk about what has been happening in the last few days in the world of cricket in Uganda is a seasoned sports journalist, of course, with the Uganda National Broadcasting Corporation. We have Grace Kemisiga joins us this morning. Welcome, Grace. Good to have you on the show this morning. All right, while we, of course, wait for her to join and, of course, to join in the conversation, it was an interesting one with our girls as, they left the shores of Nigeria to go play and see if they will qualify to the T20 2024 World Cup in Bangladesh. And so far, so good. They played 2 matches. They lost their first game against Namibia. They won their second game against Rwanda. Before we wait for Grace to join, we also have Kelechi Bernard in the studio. And, for the cricket Nigeria women, they've been doing not so bad, and they are close to joining, qualifying to the semi-finals. They lost their first game, but they won their second game against Rwanda in the cricket.
Yeah, the win against Rwanda for me was absolutely refreshing. Was a good one. And as I mentioned earlier, right now they are almost on the verge of qualifying for the semi-finals and maybe subsequently qualifying for the World Cup. I think the female Yellow Greens for me are doing wonderfully well for Nigeria. And then, unlike what the men did in their own T20 qualifiers, I think in something in Namibia where they finished very poorly. But I'm not saying that the finishing poorly was a bad one because Nigeria not really a top dog when it comes to cricket in Africa. So what the guys did to qualify for the qualifying for the T20 World Cup for me in Namibia was good, and now the ladies are now taking it a little bit higher by winning a game against Rwanda. And I just want to give kudos to the Nigerian Cricket Federation president, that's Uyi Akpata, and some of the guys who are working with him. They are actually doing so well when it comes to cricket development in Nigeria, and now right now it's paying dividends with national teams of Nigeria, men and women, doing us proud in some major international cricket competitions like the one happening right now, where the girls, the female Yellow Greens are doing us proud. So I think kudos should go to the NCF board.
All right, kudos should go to them. They play Uganda in the make-up match for the Nigerian ladies. Now, the Uganda team, the Victoria Pearls, they've qualified to the semi-finals. Now, for Nigeria, they need to win Uganda. And we know that Uganda, when it comes to cricket, they're a powerhouse. Can they do the unthinkable? Can they create an upset against Uganda?
Yeah, maybe they might bounce off the win against Rwanda to actually upset Uganda, because Ugandans, as I mentioned earlier, they are like top dogs when it comes to African women and cricket in Africa. And now I'm playing against Nigeria, who are not really established when it comes to women's cricket on the continent. So it might be a tall order for the Yellow Greens, for the female Yellow Greens to actually upset their counterparts from Uganda. But again, it's sports, it's cricket. Anything can happen. Just get your ass together, go back to your inner strength, draw it. I know they're playing away from home, so that gives maybe the Ugandans an edge. But I tell you, I saw the ladies train at the cricket oval, at Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval, somewhere on the island in Lagos, and I saw what the coaches were actually, trying to put into the ladies, and the ladies were also responding with a lot of good exercise, a lot of good running around on the oval, and I'm not surprised that so far they've actually won a game against Rwanda. So against Uganda, it is doable, but it's a tall order.
Okay, tall order for the Nigerian ladies, yellow greens, you want to call them. But of course, we know that Nigeria is a growing nation when it comes to the world of cricket. Kelechi, do you think that in the next, what time frame have you given our cricket federation to be able to compete with the very best in Africa?
It all depends, as I said earlier, I've always adored what the NCF president, that's Uyi Akpata, does, in the in cricket development in Nigeria. So maybe if he's still the president, in the next 2-3 years, I think Nigeria should be punching above her weight when it comes to cricket on the African continent, because Uyi Akpata has got some nice, wonderful, solid programs on ground to grow the game of cricket from the grassroots. I know they have a couple, performance centers, I think in Edo, somewhere in Delta, I think in Lagos, to actually help in developing cricket, in Nigeria. So if these programs are allowed to actually germinate and produce results and seize, I think Nigeria might be not only on par with maybe other text nations, maybe like South Africa, like maybe Uganda or Zimbabwe, but I think we definitely will be on the path to that very height. So maybe in the next 3 years, Uyi Akpata and his cohorts should be doing us proud in cricket.
All right, I'll wait to see how it goes in the next few days for Uganda, for Namibia, for Nigeria. But of course, back here in Nigeria, we can only hope and wish that the ladies make us proud. The men missed out, by whiskers, and we hope that the women can do better. They say what a man can do, a woman can do even more. And now, still talking about the ladies, we move away from the world of cricket now to the world of basketball. The African Basketball League going on right now. We have only one representative from Nigeria. It is the Nigerian Customs. And before then, it was an interesting matchup last night as
the backer from the center, yes. Throws it into Musa, and that's the story. Sporting, largest margin of...
All right, that was, of course, a Sporting Club. They actually took the team from Cameroon to the cleaners, and that's the second time they're having a massive scoreline in the African Women's League. Don't forget that game ended 115 to 49 points, and Universite de Douala once again are tasting defeat for the second time after losing to Nigeria Customs. Now, Kelechi Bena, this is some kind of result that you'll be scared for the Nigeria Customs. Haven't seen what Sporting Club did right there, but let's quickly take a look at the fixture, at the results from yesterday. Reg Women Basketball Club right there in Rwanda won against Interclub 96 to 89 points. Aspak of Benin Republic lost to Equity Bank 69 to 87 points. Kenya Ports Authority won against CNSS 82 to 46 points, and Universite de Douala lost scandalously to Sporting Club of Egypt 49 to 150 points. Kelechi, this results from last night, interesting one we saw in the world of basketball.
Based on the results from Group A of the African Women's Basketball League ABL in Egypt, it appears maybe fear should be in the minds of the Nigerian team, Nigeria Customs, because you mentioned earlier that the defending champions and the host of the competition, I'm talking about Sporting, beating a team, beating UDLA, that's University of Douala of Cameroon. That was like more than a blowout, more than like 60 points if you like do the math, So it's a blowout, and that's why they are the defending champions. Sporting, that's why they are the host. And so for the Nigerian team, the players, they brought in, new players. So I don't think these
Nigeria Customs later today, and that's an interesting fixture. When you look at what Kenya Ports Authority have done, they've also gotten one win from today. But the fixtures, of course, for today, overdose. We hope they don't get overdose against Aspak. They're going to play today. Nigeria Customs will take on Kenya Ports Authority. CNSS will take on Universite de Douala, Equity Bank against Reg Women Basketball Club. And we'll focus on Nigeria Customs. First win, already gotten in the bag against Universite de Douala. Now they're playing against a team who have also gotten a win from the competition. So it's all to play for later today. They've gotten some additions also into the team. Do you think Nigeria Customs has all it takes to go past Kenya Ports Authority?
Yeah, they should, because though I saw their game, their first game, the opening game against the Universite de Douala of Cameroon, and it was a bit crappy. And I'm saying crappy because I saw the game, and even their captain Nkem Akaraiwe, who happens to be the star name on that roster for Nigeria Custom, she also attested to the fact that the team played a little bit of crappy basketball early in the game against the UDLA of Cameroon. So based on that, I just hope that maybe all the rough edges they experienced in the game against UDLA have been corrected by the coaching crew led by Abdul Rahman Mohammed, who I also adore, because Abdul Rahman Mohammed is one of the craftiest point guards in the history of Nigerian club basketball, even in the history of Nigerian national team basketball, when he was still playing, when he was still active. So right now he's being assisted by somebody who I also adore when it comes to basketball in Nigeria. I'm talking about Ogo Odaud, who also won the Nigerian Men's League with Rivers Hoopers a couple weeks back. So when it comes to the coaching department, I think Nigerian Customs are loaded. They are loaded into the hilt. But again, you asked the question. Now they'll be playing against the Kenya Ports Authority, who are top dogs when it comes to the FIBA Zone 5, where they actually won the FIBA Zone 5 to qualify for the African Women's Basketball League in Egypt. So Kenya Ports Authority also sent a very, very big statement when they beat their opponent, UDLA, last night. So it tells you that this team has got some good players. I saw the Kenya Ports Authority roster, and I know that's one lady I'm scared of. Her name is Veronica Reynolds. I think she's from the USA. She scored 23 points in the last game.
Yeah, of course.
23 games, and she made 6 3-pointers. That's 18 plus the rest to make it up to 23. So it tells you that's one player. Nigeria Customs should be wary of, should be aware of. They need to put her on a lockdown or put her away from the game.
On lockdown. but anyways, just to crack some jokes here right now. Yeah. But Nigeria Customs, they are involved. They also stay around the ports to clear goods, to also monitor goods that are coming to the country. Kenya Ports Authority also do kind of the same job in Kenya. So we don't know which of them will do the more clearing or forwarding. But at the end of the day, both sides, of course, have shown strength in the tournament. And for Nigeria Customs, the only time a Nigerian club have won or has won this particular tournament is First Bank Basketball Club twice. And since then, no Nigerian club side have won this tournament. Do you think Customs can dare to dream?
Definitely, they should. Interestingly, when First Bank also won one of the laurels, I think that should be way back. I think I can't remember the year. They had a player who was right now with the Nigeria Customs. I'm talking about Nkem Akaraiwe. She was with the First Bank team that won bronze medal a couple years ago. So definitely that experience should come to bear. When she actually leads her teammates in Nigeria Customs against the Kenya Ports Authority. So yes, I agree with you. Somehow they are inexperienced, because the last time Nigeria Customs were in this competition was more than 2 decades ago. So that's a long time. And now they've actually brought 8 new players into the fold, 8 new players. So you begin to wonder, where would the chemistry come from? Where with
a short time?
Yeah, with that short period of time, where would the chemistry come from? So I think it's a huge ask for Customs, but I hope they can put the chestnut out of the fire, because they've got a very, very solid, coaching department. I keep drooling over these young guys, Abdul Rahman Mohammed and also Godaud. I think they can take care of business against the Kenya Ports Authority.
All right. Interestingly, we've been talking about sports and about the women's angle of sports, from basketball or from cricket to basketball.